What if your father came up to you and he said, Cory, I'm gonna pull your butt apart and fuck you, and if you don't let me do it, I'm gonna kill your mom?
Yeah.
What would you do?
You're shaking your head.
What if he said, listen, just wipe well this morning because we're gonna have some fun tonight?
I'd be like, you can't fuck what you can't see. Run away.
You can't fuck what you can't see?
What does that
What do you mean?
You can't fuck what you can't see.
Is that a homework card, Cory? Where'd you get that from?
He'd run away and it'd be like a little cloud-shaped Cory.
Would you try to plug up your butthole? Would you try
I
to
just
put like a cork bottle?
I just run away.
Let's say you're locked in the room with him, and he said, "Listen, I'm gonna pull your butt apart and do my thing," and you have to talk your way out of it.
There's a perfectly good window to jump through.
No,
there's no windows. He finds a window.
He puts you in the. He has you in the basement.
Yeah, it's a zombie apocalypse, and he boarded up the windows a long time ago.
There's nowhere to go.
So my dad took me into the basement.
Yeah, it's the basement. That's easier.
Here's what happens.
But our basement had windows.
Cory, go in the cellar. It's a new house. Cory, go in the cellar. Get your old man some beer. Go downstairs. Good luck. Cory. Playtime.
I would still be getting him
that was
beer.
a little too specific. Did that happen to you?
No, don't worry about it.
Did your old man keep... No, nobody's old man just keeps beer in the cellar and then sings a song. Something bad happens.
Hold on. Okay, so I go downstairs.
Look, stop with the windows and the escape plan.
First of all, I would go downstairs, I get the beer. Even if he's like, Cory, I'd be like, all right, get him the beer. Hold on. And I get the beer.
In the way, you see his silhouette, he's flexing.
Okay, I still give him the beer. I'm like,
He
this
says,
is
what
what
do
you
you
wanted.
think of Papa's biceps?
Why does he sound Russian?
He's trying to intimidate you.
He's trying to impress. He's trying to just.
Cory, look at your dad.
He's trying to get you in the
He keeps
mood.
all his workout gear in the basement, and
He
when
does.
he like bulks
He actually
up,
did.
He bulks up next to you. It makes him feel important.
He's like, Cory, do you think I could break a brick with my head?
I'll be
I
like,
probably could,
maybe.
but I could still fuck you.
What if
Now
he
come here.
What if he just puts lipstick on? He's like, just give Daddy a little kiss.
My dad specifically said he wasn't gay.
As he fucked you.
He doesn't have to be gay.
Wait, you had that conversation? He's like, listen, son, even though you're a product of my balls, I'm not gay. He had to tell you this. What, did you accuse him of being gay?
They were eating dinner. How was the roast beef? I'm not gay. Oh, man, nobody wants to hear this shit.
It's disgusting.
They want to hear about your dad fucking you. Get back to the not gross
You
stuff.
just can't answer. Don't want to answer, do you?
What was it? What was the
Cory,
question?
playtime.
Come kiss Daddy.
Is this the fuck theme song?
Put the
Is this the theme song to your dad fucking you?
Put the trombone down, faggot.
Is this the scary music as your dad approaches you faster and faster? Cory, come here. This will just hurt for a long time.
That's what Cory does when he's upset about his past. He starts playing the trombone. Hey, Cory, remember your dad?
Anyways, to answer your question, if my dad came down, he was like, Cory, what the fuck am I supposed to do? We locked the fucking basement. There's no windows. I guess I'm getting fucked.
Nobody said he locked it. Where did that come from?
I said
this.
I have to stop him from escaping because apparently there's windows and escape routes in every single scenario.
But we were asking you, how would you talk your way out of it?
and there's also ice cream and every other amenity too.
How would you talk your way out of it, Cory?
Hey, Cory, here's this really interesting scenario. What would you do? I would run away.
I'd run away from
These scenarios fucking stink. It's usually me getting raped or murdered.
That's because it's funny. You're supposed to come up with an
That's
answer.
not fair.
Would you fight your father? I said, listen.
Dude, my dad used to be a bodybuilder. No.
Your dad used to be so you just take it.
Bodybuilder.
You wouldn't even attempt to stop him.
His body.
My dad used to take the Arnold Schwarzenegger videos. He used to study them and work out.
Whoa,
my mom actually met my dad from being a bodybuilder at a competition. That's how she fell in love with him.
Do you want to body build?
No.
Did she fall in love with him, or did she just like how jacked he was?
How he could pick up and fucking jackhammer her off the... I should have said that.
That's my mom.
I know, yeah.
Anyways, what we were talking about
Cory's mom. Maybe she just liked how he could pick her up and jackhammer her.
Back to the story. I'm getting beer,
You know, Cory, 15 minutes ago, all you could have said was,
yes.
Yeah, and then we would have been on a different topic.
What was the topic?
Something about your dad raping you, but now it's not even funny anymore. Now it's just really sad and disturbing.
It's pretty funny.
Why don't you just answer it?
Okay.
What do you say? You have one sentence.
Okay.
You have one sentence. Cory, you want to fuck Dada?
He's not fucking Adam Sandler.
Say, Cory, son.
Cory.
Son, I'll let you go, but you have to tell me a funny joke. Because you're a funny guy, apparently.
Like
That's what the internet says, apparently. So,
My dad doesn't know anything about my existence.
let's say he does.
This is
hypothetical
a hypothetical situation.
Yeah, tell your dad a funny joke.
Tell me a joke.
Hypothetical
And I'll tell me a joke, and
Son, if you can make me laugh.
I'll go shove a
I'll
ruler
go
up my
upstairs
ass and leave you alone.
Yeah, I'll go upstairs and jack off and go to sleep.
Yeah, go.
Tell a funny
He
joke.
puts his hands on his hips. He's like, "All right, I'm ready."
Wait,
Trust me, funny man.
Dad, jokes aren't funny. They're delivery.
He's standing there with a hard wiener, and you're gonna be like, "Dad,
Listen,
jokes aren't funny."
Listen, his dick is throbbing in front of you, and all you have to do is say a joke,
Two
and
that
you
thing
can
that looks
leave.
like this, we're fucking-
You can walk out and never have to.
What if it's not funny? What if I'm like, what did the chicken say to the road?
What did the chicken?
Across
What did
you.
the chicken say to the road?
Cock and-
And then he fucked you. You fucked up.
you lost. You lost that game.
They just made him harder watching you fail.
He wants you to take initiative, Corey. This is his whole thing. He's like,
Hey.
he's trying to scare you into.
I can't.
Stop with giving him stupid
I can't
answers.
think of a joke.
All right. Well, give me I don't know.
I'll tell him a riddle.
Fuck it. Just bend over then, because you're worthless.
Stamper, what if your dad was gonna fuck you in his basement? What would you say to your dad?
Your dad's right.
What's brown and sticky?
My ass will sue when you fuck me. The end.
A stick.
Okay.
That's the only joke I
What-
have.
what-
Oh no! Wait, hold on.
Your
Corey.
dad's running up to you like a big old grizzly bear. He's gonna fuck you. What do you
Like a
say?
big old grizzly bear.
Wait, so,
It's gonna fuck you. What do you do?
when do you start warding people off with jokes? Like your dad's running at you like a grizzly bear trying to fuck you, and you're like, Dad, wait, why did Dracula turn into a vegetarian?
Dude, you're running.
My parents made me go into the. He'd tell me about how he went into the Marines, and he learned how to fight with, how to disarm people who had knives and all that stuff. But I'm trying to think of an actual story.
My dad actually did that.
What?
My dad actually went to the Marines, and he was like studying to be a chef at one point, but he
Yeah.
also was like learning how to self-defense and stuff, and he learned how to knock
Learning how to
weapons
be
out
a
of hands.
chef and fight with knives at the same time.
He was also
Cook
a
the
gourmet
soup,
chef.
kill it.
This, I think you watched.
Too many video games.
No.
Steven Seagal.
Yeah, what's that movie with Steven Seagal? You watched Under Siege. This is not your dad. You watched Under Siege.
What the fuck is Under Siege?
You're saying your dad is
He was a
Is he like-
military chef. And he fought terrorists.
My dad is not a chef. He can't even make a steak. You want to hear a story about? Want to hear a story about a supposed bird that's supposed to fucking recite what you say that my dad got?
Oh god.
Didn't do neither. It just squawked all fucking day. So my dad got this fucking bird from like some exotic place. It was like one of those. They're like the red birds. You know, they have like a little bit of
The
color.
African,
Oh, it's like it's like a parrot.
The Muji bird.
parakeet?
Oh yeah, the Wuji Wuji. It is a Wuji Wuji.
The Muji Muji?
Muji bird.
The Mujo Mujo bird, look it up, it exists. The Mujo Mujo bird, my dad got it, and he's like, man, I love birds because my dad's a liar. And he got the bird, and he got a fucking giant white cage, and literally the only thing it did was squawk like a fucking asshole.
Did he try to talk to it, or did he just expect it to start talking to him and have a whole vocabulary?
He tried talking to it. He's like, pretty birdie. He threw fucking bird food at its face.
Maybe the bird wasn't talking because your dad was fucking pelting this bird. After one day, his bird started singing because it wouldn't recite fucking Shakespeare to him.
Should we all tell a father story?
Yes, my dad has an Ace Ventura Pet Detective haircut. He used to really
fuck.
show it off. Like he was like that cool
Is it
guy.
like a pompadour? Is that what it's called?
I don't even know, but my dad was a nerd in that regard. He would like drive his car around and he would like pull up.
Was he a delivery man?
He's high in his profession, but
Don't
basically,
just say, yeah, does he? Yeah.
He's good at what he does.
My dad would fucking act like Ace Ventura any chance he got. He would wear a Hawaiian shirt. When he
Yeah.
parked his car, he'd be like and he would quote Ace Ventura
Did you
like
laugh at it
it
whenever
was
he
his
said
fucking
that?
Bible. At the time, I was like 18 to 20, and I was like, oh, cool. Like, I didn't care. When I was young, I used to clap and laugh, but when you grow up, eventually you start, like, you know. And my dad used to. This is gonna go into another tangent. I guess
Look,
this is-
for God's
Tell
sake.
like dad stories.
I got
Dad
another
story.
dad
One story.
One story. What dad's story?
All right, this is my real dad story. Fuck the hair
Cory.
thing. This is my real one. Actually,
You lost your turn, Corey. Or you forfeit.
You lost your privileges.
my mom always encouraged me to do what I enjoy. She's like, if you're in that situation, then you're better off than most people, so you should pursue that. So my mom always encouraged it, but my dad was against it all the way. Yeah.
He wanted you to be a professional weightlifter.
He wanted me. That's actually true.
real?
That's actually
Really?
true. My mom met my dad when he was taking, like, he was going to professional like lifting, like weight things where they like lift stuff in like huge lines, like a concentration camp lines and shit. Like I'm telling you, it's scary.
With buff Jews instead of
buff Jews.
sick Jews, yeah.
Cool. It's horrible. But
You said concentration camps. I was
using it.
Let it be known. First podcast where I did not bring up Hitler once, and Cory was the initiator.
Let me tell you something.
Cleared.
I'm pretty sure the first thing you think of when you think of that is long, drawn-out lines to the bathroom. That's exactly why I said it, because that's what I think
Okay,
of.
continue. Sorry.
Okay, well, anyways, like, my mom met my dad that way, and he took, like, Arnold Schwarzenegger's thing on how to lift weights. When I was 1, they broke up, and so... But he was always like, you get a career, you don't fall back on art, make it a hobby. And then my mom was like, just do what you enjoy. And I'm like, well, I fucking hate working, so I guess I'll do what I enjoy.
When you were 1?
I was like drooling on myself, and she's like, you need
Cory,
to make
do you not
decisions.
think it's kind of coincidental that they broke up when you were 1? It's pretty much they broke up because of you.
Did she look at you and you reminded her of her husband?
Big buff father, your husband.
A little version of the person she hates the
You're a
most in
little
this
buff
world.
I was like
baby.
Bam Bam, really huge biceps. It's like,
You know, that's like everybody says, a lot of artists say.
Your face looked like a baby when you did that. It was weird.
that's why I did it. My dad was kind of like a workaholic. And if I continued to do that stuff now, I would basically be a handyman. Like, I knew plumbing, I knew
some plumbing.
landscaping, when I was a kid, I could do measurements in my head, because he would freak out at me if I fucked up a measurement when we were putting
tents
carpet down.
and stuff.
When I was like 14,
Like
I was putting carpet down in a house. I was going into people's houses and fixing their plumbing. He's like, oh, my kid's, he's a regular tool man, and I'd be down there fucking like fixing.
Is that what everybody said? He's a regular tool man?
Cory the Toolman Taylor.
Cory the Toolman Taylor. We're talking about the worst fucking gifts ever that we got for Christmas. I got you motherfuckers beat left and right.
Yeah?
There was a point, I guess I can get into this.
Preach it, bro.
But it's like, so you know when you want, there's like one thing you want as a kid. I'm like, I want a computer. I know it's going to be expensive, but this is all I want. This is the only thing I want for Christmas. And for next Christmas and last Christmas and all the Christmas ever, I want a computer. I don't care if it's a laptop. I just want a computer.
Yeah.
And my dad was like, okay. You know what my fucking dad got me
What?
instead of that? Like, you know, I understand giving and stuff. He got me something on the fucking North Pole side of things of what I've wanted. He got me a fucking metal detector.
Oh, what a dick.
And he was like, he's like, you can create your own adventures. He was trying to like play it off. He was trying to like make it this whimsical toy. And it was the most confusing, fucking loud, ear-piercing thing I've ever heard in my life. Because when it goes next to a metal, it's like, beep, 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 beep. And so it broke, obviously, because I didn't understand how to use it. And one day I was asleep, and it just went... My dad came in, and he fucking picked it up, and slammed it on the ground, and fucking broke
Your
it.
dad, dude. I hate your dad. I don't even know what he looks like.
He fucking smashed it like 3 times.
He's a villain.
He's...
That's not the worst thing he's ever done.
And then he left, and then the next morning, he was like... I did that? I didn't even know I did that. He was just so used to fucking...
Your dad is such a, like, badly written villain character. He's just over-the-top evil.
He got me a metal detector, and this is the best part, okay? You want to know the best part about him getting a metal detector?
Yeah.
Yeah.
My dad is the kind of person who goes to fucking yard sales and junkyards, and he fucking gets wood with the nails inside of it, and he fucking takes it, and he'll, like, have me pull the nails out of the fucking board for, like, a nickel or a penny, and then it's spread all over the ground. So he spills metal, and there's fucking metal everywhere all over our property. And it's like a junkyard. And then he gives me a fucking metal detector, and it's like, it's having a field day the second I go outside. It's just, so I can never find money to begin with. So I'm already pissed off that I got that.
Do you not take it to a park or somewhere
And
that's
so
not
he
your
smashed that.
nail-filled garden?
So the next gift he got me, and I shit you not, this is okay, so we went on a hike for 2 hours. 2 hours. And then he was talking about his dad or something in the past. And then we came to a giant fucking tractor tire. It was like fucking huge. It was like 3 of me stacked on me. And he's like, here's your Christmas present. And I looked at him. I was tired and exhausted and hot and
you were
sweaty. And
tired,
I had
alright.
like 40 different ticks on my leg. And I was just like, I'm like, okay. And then I walked home.
It's like, maybe someday you can have 2 giant tractor tires.
And then you can put a tractor together. Like,
And then he told me later that the reason why he did that was because he wanted to get closer. And I'm like, why didn't you just fucking talk to me? Why did you force me to go on a hike and then ground me because I walked home alone?
Wait, so, no, I'm very confused. He brought you up a hill on a hike to give you a huge tire. Is this true?
It was like
he gave you a tire.
Yeah, a tire I couldn't move because it's a fucking 100-foot tire.
Why would he give you that?
Because he's weird.
Why? No, but what was his logic? What, like, he had to...
To get to know me better.
Why would he give you a giant tire? To get to know you better.
Because he's insane.
Your dad is a fucking idiot, Cory.
Cory, I don't know if this is you the way you perceive it, or if this
This is true.
Yeah, that's a good point. Maybe you're just a fucking idiot, Cory.
I don't know.
No, how? I don't know how I could perceive something of me hiking. How can I forget something
No, because your
that
dad might have.
asinine?
You know,
Maybe on the other side of the tire there was like a bag of gold or something.
yeah, like maybe your dad was pointing at like.
I circled the
Maybe your
tire.
dad was pointing at
I
a
thought
new
there
like
was a
electric
joke.
guitar or
I
something.
thought there was a joke. I circled around it, and I'm like, "What is this?" And he told me it was a tire, and then
Maybe he got you a
explained-
tire like clothes, and you were like
Maybe
oh,
you were supposed to get in the tire and roll down the hill.
and get your real present.
It was there for like 40 fucking ever. It was just sitting there.
It was an old tire?
Yeah, it was rusty, old, and shitty.
What the hell? What's wrong with him?
I don't know. That was years ago.
You should have been like, Dad, I'm tired of this, and then walked away.
He would have laughed, then I would have got a raise. No, but what happened was eventually it just came to a point where he didn't get me what I wanted. He got me what I wanted for my birthday.
Yeah.
I got a GameCube, a PlayStation 2, and not a computer. I never got a fucking computer. I got a shitty hand-me-down Mac computer, and then I got a computer that was fucking shit, and I just went to my mom's house and used that computer and eventually got it. Something similar happened to me in a boat, but it was more or less we kind of found a way to like, it was me, my sister, and my dad and some other person, and we had a boat that had an engine, but there was actually like a leak inside the engine, like an oil leak while we were driving.
Yeah.
Which is really bad. Like because the guy smoked cigarettes. If he would have fucking tossed a cigarette near that, it would have fucking exploded the boat and stuff because like it stays water and everything. But what ended up happening was my dad like picked me and my sister up and he threw us overboard and he's like, start kicking, do what you saw in the cartoons. And then so we tried to like kick, but we got really tired because it's hard to push a boat.
He tried to make. Hold on. Your dad put you in the water and tried to make you push a boat while in the water with nothing to stand on.
Yeah, and kick our feet and move it.
Look, Dash from The
Let me give your
Incredibles.
dad a very, very basic lesson in how things work. Your dad. How old were you at least?
Yeah, let me finish the story.
How old were you?
A fish came up and it rubbed itself around my legs and I fucking screamed bloody
stuff?
murder. It like swung around.
Scales.
Its scales like rubbed around. Yeah, it's stuff. It rubbed around
How
my
old were you,
leg.
Cory? Were you and your sister like old enough? Were you big?
We were like 13 or 14.
I can't wrap my head around that. You can't. I mean, you can. Ugh.
It was a mini
If he was
motorcycle.
asking you to pull, I would get it. If he's asking you to push,
Yeah.
you can't push anything if you're in the water, dude. Unless it's like lighter than you, but it's way heavier than you. It's like pushing a rock on the
I
surface.
know. We didn't get anywhere. We just sort of like went around in circles. There's a hole.
God
in the
damn it,
bucket,
Cory.
In the bucket. In the bucket.
Dear
There's
Liza.
a hole in the bucket.
Dear
Liza.
Liza.
There's a hole in the bucket.
Then men.
Wait. No, but you know when you're younger.
How do you know that?
Because I had a Disney version of it.
Wait, guys,
We probably sound like psychos, but how do you know that fucking song?
Because I had a
Everyone knows
CD.
that song.
I had a
My
CD.
dad used to play that in the car every time we fake went to church.
Cory, so your dad fake went to church. You just kind of skimmed over that.
Yeah.
Where did you go instead? Like
I told you, my dad. I was brought up to think that the only reason my dad would go to church was to Mac or look good.
To what?
to Mac?
To
Yeah.
Mac.
Is this a water people thing?
No, Mac. Hate on girls.
Oh, okay. Is this? Did your dad come up with that term?
Oh, like always sunny.
Macking.
Wait,
Mac and cheese.
what are you
I don't
talking
know.
about?
What's that? I don't know what that is.
This is
I'm gonna cut out me.
all right. This is a hip term for hitting on girls.
This is a shit term.
Macking. It's like macking. It's like, hey, lady, nice bloomers. It's what you say.
Nice bloomers.
So your dad would go to church and say nice bloomers to
The dad would go to church, pull fucking old lady's trousers down, and check out them fucking bloomers. And then
Wait, bloomers are in the trousers? I thought bloomers were tits.
And then he would play "There's a Hole in the Bucket, Dear Liza" on the way back every
So he'd point
single
at-
fucking
So
time.
we point at their butthole and start going, there is a hole in
No. So what you're saying is your dad drives to church. He says, "Hey, baby, nice bloomers." Then he goes, "There's a hole in my bucket," and drives away.
What? I never fucking said such
And then he'd take it to the
nonsense.
fucking tire farm.
That's like
a shitty movie moment.
You guys are creating like this is like a psycho who fucking comes up to just murder his whole family.
That's like when a fucking black guy jumps up in his car. It's like, yo, what? But fuck you, and it goes boom. And he's
No, the hole in my bucket and what was it, Raffi?
Yeah, Raffi.
What's
Does
Raffi?
Raffi
Raffi was this pervert who used to sing kid songs on the CDs.
He's
and-
really a pervert?
Yeah.
I fucking love
us
Raffi.
why.
Yeah, he's a pervert. He used to sing that song. He was like, "What's that? The baby."
He would play octopus on the little kids' laps.
Oh,
Raffi concerts.
that hand gesture was disgustingly creepy. What the hell? Played octopus.
He'd play octopus.
Stop doing that hand gesture. Oh god. Oh shit. Fuck, you're a pervert, Cory.
I am no such word.
I can prove it.
I can too. But anyways, what were we talking about before this shit?
Okay, your dad pointing at bloomers.
No, I made that up. My dad would not fucking molest old ladies at church.
Were they water people?
He wouldn't molest old water ladies either.
Well, does it matter? Like,
There wasn't fucking amoeba water ladies, old shatzels, fucking at church.
Cory, your fucking vocabulary is amazing. I don't know what.
I'm telling you though, my dad would drive Raffi singing There's a hole in my bucket to church, and I used to sing it with him because it was a good song.
It is catchy. I'll give you that.
Yeah, there's a hole in my bucket, dear Liza. Basically, my dad's side, he only really did church things when he wanted to fuck someone. So when my dad wanted to fuck a chick,
your dad is like the dudes from Wedding Crashers.
yeah, exactly. Yeah, he's like, oh, she's really into like God and stuff. So you better enjoy it. And I'm like, Dad, church is okay.
Your dad tried to lure you to church. You'd be like, you better be a good man.
You were your dad's wingman?
I would have to go with him because like I lived with him. But
Would your dad get jealous if she got into you instead?
I don't know.
Like she was like, you got a big dick on you, don't you?
What? It doesn't sound like Blue Collar TV. Starring Comedy Central's first. Okay, no, but like with my mom, she's pretty much like she believes in Jesus and God and stuff, but she believes to a point where she's like, you know, God's in all of us. I don't think you need to go to some fucking rank old building and listen to some dude talking.
Yeah, well, that's not. If it gives you peace and like you don't shove it in people's faces, I think
that's
fine.
exactly what my mom says. My mom's like, people that say you have to go to church or you're gonna go sin and go to hell. It's like you don't. If you just believe in God or you have God in your whole, or you. Okay, so we used to have a clubhouse when we lived in the woods with my sister, and I built it up like
Wait, you lived in the woods?
Yeah, I was gonna say.
That sounds about right. What?
we lived on.
You lived in the fucking trees,
It
Cory.
was like the woods / like a field, like 15 acres. So there's like a wood area and a fucking like.
You
land
lived in the
with,
woods, or you lived in a house, a regular house within.
It
woods?
was like here's a house and here's like a long trail up to the woods, and then there used to be this woodland area where there was like this like old barn,
Right.
which me and my sister like fixed up and we made into our clubhouse. And then one day, like my dad was really mad at us one day. I guess because we didn't spend enough attention with us because we were hanging out in the clubhouse. He fucking went to the clubhouse and burned it down
What?
when we were asleep.
What the fuck?
Inside the clubhouse.
He burned it. Like he just went in there and fucking put all the oil around and burned it down.
You say while you were asleep in the clubhouse, or while you were asleep at the house?
In the house.
Oh.
Obviously, we're
He was so jealous.
yeah. I told you he's crazy. You would never remember that. I'm like, Dad, you remember when you burned down our clubhouse? He'd be like, I never fucking did anything like that. You're crazy. My dad used to have this plastic skeleton, which he called Old Boney, and he used to like fucking talk about how Old Boney. It was like one of those like things that you see at like high school skeleton thing.
Cory, was it a real skeleton, or are you sure
No,
it
it
was
was
plastic?
fake. It was a fake yellow like plastic fucking like presenting skeleton that you show kids at science class and stuff.
Did he teach you the birds and the bees with Old Boney?
No. He used to be
Old
like
Boney's gonna teach you how to
he
bone.
told me that Old Boney used to be real, but he was like an escaped convict, so his like spirit still haunts the skeleton. He used to tell me that and fucking scare the shit out of my sister because
scary.
one night he had the skeleton on like a fucking like one of those like things they hang on and shit, and he stuck like little metal rods to his fucking hand, and the skeleton, he made the skeleton come in doing this shit like on a fucking like roller thing.
Walking like
Asleep.
Frankenstein. Okay.
No, it was like on a roller. He just had the fucking hands like this, and you're just like like that over the bed. one night. Like, he used to do that kind of shit. Is that what your dad did? Okay, there once was a skinny man, droopy-eyed retard baby who drooled and vomited on his parents until they got tired of it and fucking dropped him off at, I don't know, healthcare clinic.
What shall we call him? Cory, she said.
Cory's dad walked in. He looked down in disappointment. He picked up this new baby by his dungarees and he threw him at the wall.
And then he said, and then in a bit of depression, he watched Batman Returns and he said, "This is a great movie. Let's put him in a baby couch and throw him in the sewer." And he did that. And he floated, and they ran away as if Cory floated down the sewer. All right.
My dad didn't really convince me, but when I was putting tar on a wall to lay down, like,
As you do.
serious.
I just love how that story
Completely
starts.
serious.
Fuck, Cory.
Hot tar on a wall. I got stuff on my finger, and I'm like, Dad, how do I clean this off? He's like, you can't. He's like, it's gonna fucking burn through your skin and touch your bone. And I was freaking out. Like, I was crying as a kid. He's like, don't worry. I was lying. But that was after I was washing my hands and crying. Like, he came in laughing and he put his hand on my shoulder.
What?
And told me the news.
Cory,
Are you serious?
you know what? This is the last question, but we're here. And this is the season finale. So I think there's a question that a lot of people need answers to.
I haven't
That
answered
is,
this, but
is your dad still alive?
Yeah, he's in Florida with his Russian wife.
Does he know about the Sleepycast?
No.
Is he real?
Yeah, he's 100% real.
Because there are so many stories about your
Listen.
dad that just blow my goddamn
You know, I talked
mind.
to Jeff about this. Everybody asks. It's like a fucking insane. Like, my dad is like this crazy.
Yeah, his
he's
dad's
weird.
not that weird.
He's
alright?
just.
If you listen to the podcast,
He just like fucking with me when I was younger and like acting like a child.
He
That's really
fucking
what it
made
comes
you
down to.
bury tires. He fucking locked you in a basement.
Look, people are weird. If you understand human nature, his dad's not that fucking strange.
Really, what it comes down to is my dad was just sort of a child. If you want to know the honest truth, my dad's father died when he was 13. So he didn't really know how to be a father when he was 13, and not to mention his mom.
He didn't have you with her. He didn't have you as
Yeah,
the-
no. His mom gave him everything he ever wanted. If his room was dirty, she would clean it up. He had no idea of the concept.
What age was he when he had
concept of
you, Cory?
responsibility. He was like, I don't know, like he was 40 something,
oh.
maybe 30.
Oh, so he grew up like a coddled faggot, and like everything was
Exactly.
kind of handed to him.
Exactly. Everything was handed to him. He became very narcissistic. So the concept of a kid was just like he would keep him around and love him, but he would also fuck with him. And his idea of fucking with him was just like, you know, as if it was like a college kid he was just fucking with when he was like 8. It's like a pressure washer when you're like washing a car. That like buildup and
They
that
can rip your
impact
skin
of
off,
initially
dude.
doing it, yeah, it can tear your skin off. And like I was like next to my foot as a kid, thinking of what would happen if I put it on my foot.
Ow.
I didn't know because the rocks were fucking shooting out like I was like 10 feet in the air.
You're
And
just
I'm
giggling.
like, I wonder what would happen if I sprayed my foot. And my dad like grabbed it.
wonder what would happen if I split my foot.
My dad like grabbed it, and he's like, "You want to know what happens if you sprayed yourself?" And he went over to a tree with full bark. He went shot
knocked
off
down
all
the tree.
No,
The tree-
he shot off like half the bark and left
fucking
like a
blew
white
his swirl.
spot.
Oh yeah, that's super
It was
scary.
a giant Sakai
And he
tree.
said he said this thing could literally burn a hole through your skin if you had it put
Yeah.
there for a few seconds. I was terrified after that because I was just fucking around in the rocks.
Yeah, they
and then
use
when
it to
he
like
sprayed,
wash decks off.
yeah,
and
when he
porches and shit,
knocked
right?
raw bark off a tree, I'm like,
That's how
I ain't
you
fucking
scare a
around with
child
that.
into not doing something stupid.
Yeah, my dad had a way of fucking.
That's why
scaring
you're
the
still
shit
with
out of
us,
me.
Cory. Your dad scared you at every point.
There was this one time when I was building a house and he was using
My own
I have missed this. I
What do
have
you mean you were
missed
building a house?
this.
Were you helping
I
your
was
dad
Here
build
we
a house?
helping my
fucking
dad
go.
build a house
I
because
was
like,
imagining you like the middle of the woods.
as
fucking,
a 14-year-old kid, I had mastered
Building a house.
the arts of doing literally everything. That's what my dad made me do.
Got it.
And he had hot tar. And, well, hold on.
He had tar.
He had
hot
tar
tar.
because he
Where?
was like we were building like the lower foundation of like a house in the middle of like the woods because he just bought like 5 acres and he wanted to build a house, so he was building the basement foundation and he needed like tar to hold certain things in place. So we had hot tar and we got tar on ourselves. We had it on our skin. But you know,
How
like
did you get tar yourself?
because we were doing
Splashing
stuff-
around
yeah,
in
no,
the-
like we were like doing and stuff. And like, you know, you can just accidentally get tar just from painting. You get paint on yourself.
Yeah.
So we got tar on ourselves.
Then you rolled around some feathers.
And my dad came out and he's like, oh, well, that's never coming off. You have to get your skin removed now. And me and my sister were freaking out. And then he just started laughing. He's like, oh, I'm just joking. He's like, that'll come off with certain adhesives. It's gonna hurt, but it comes off. He does that shit all the time. He just trial by fire. It's like, oh, if you're doing something wrong.
Trial by tar.
Yeah, he'll show
Your dad set you up. He was like, I want them to cover themselves in tar so I can
so
terrorize
we're
them.
playing with tar and burning stuff. It's like, oh, I guess you gotta remove your skin now, like Silence of the Lambs. But like,
Hey son, go jump in that pile of mud.
I forget what the tangent was to get into this, but
Say somebody farted a tar bubble or something.
no, that's not what I fucking said. We were talking about leeches because you guys were talking about ticks and stuff. I actually did have leeches on me before, and I was little, and I remember my dad picking me up and throwing me into a river. The context sounds crazy, but he was like, I was a little kid, I was like, I don't want to go, I don't want to swim, I'm scared. And he's like, don't be scared, and he picked me up and threw me into the river.
You were covered in leeches when he came out.
Yeah.
That's terrifying.
Yeah, because I was like fucking walling, and I'm sure all the parasites were swimming at me because I was like making a commotion.
I saw a juicy Cory sitting there. They
That's like lifelong
Yeah,
weird
but
shit.
then I came out and I had one on my leg, and I'm like, I was screaming, and then he took it off, and then he turned me around. He's like, "Don't move." And apparently, I had like 9 leeches on my back.
Oh my god, that makes
because
me
I
fucking.
fell on the ground, and then they like, you know.
Oh.
But, I couldn't write on the lines in school, and I went to my.
What did you write on?
You don't know, like, you know how you have like line paper?
Yeah, I can comprehend that.
It was hard for me to write on the line. I don't know. It was just like weird. I just couldn't do it. And I never wanted to bring my dad any work because if he saw that he couldn't write on the line.
How old were you?
I was like, 14, so I kind of knew better.
Cory, what the fuck? You couldn't write on the line?
Writing on the lines is hard, I'll give you that.
It's
talking
like,
about?
I could kind of do it, but eventually I would get to the point where I couldn't perfectly write on the line. Like I would go off of it because I would get you just get in like a rhythm of writing and you just start lifting the words off sometimes.
I got you.
And like nowadays, like I don't really write on line paper. I write on normal paper, just like that doesn't have lines. So it was like hard for me to do it, but I still tried to. And then like if you write off the line, you want to write back on the line, and then you have like weird tilting letters. And you just look like a dumbass. So
Gotcha.
I would do that, and it would piss my dad off, and he would be like, rewrite everything like 20 times. And then I would have to do that. And so eventually I'd do the work at like 9, but my dad would make me do writing assessments so I'd learn how to write on the paper. And I would be up till like 2 in the morning, and I would never get my homework done because my dad was making me do line writing
man,
work.
my dad did stuff like that to me.
And then like I didn't finish it, so I didn't get it done. And eventually I came to the realization that it's like, hey, my dad's kind of a dickhead. I don't think I want to do homework with him. He's just going to judge me all day of how much of a retard I am. So I guess I'm just going to do homework at school and tell my dad to eat a dick. Or I'll just be like, Dad, I don't have any homework. If I had a kid, first of all, I'd want to I would want to get a kid who's a little older. I'd be down for adoption, obviously. But at the same time, I would feel the need to want to fuck with them. Because if they were bad kids, I would just so they would come home and they were just being a little shit. So I'd go into their room and I would hide something and they'd walk in it. I'd be like, I took something from your room, try and guess what it is.
That's fucking.
But I wouldn't actually take anything from
Cory,
your room.
this is the shit your dad did to you, probably.
No.
This is exactly what your dad did to you.
My dad would actually take my stuff and go outside and smash it with an object.
So you would just be one step below
I wouldn't do it.
Cory,
I would
you're gonna repeat the cycle. You're gonna make your kids turn into you.
No, I would just be. I would be creative with how I fucked with my kids.
You're gonna turn your kids into your dad.
I would be creative with how I fucked with my kids. Although I don't know if I told this story. I feel like I might have. It's also kind of on topic because we're playing a Sonic game. But my dad, it's also kind of my dad's fault that I was even into this shit to begin with.
Oops.
But there's this thing called PAL Comics.
Yeah.
And I had downloaded a bunch of the comics because I was gonna practice drawing the porn. Like I was gonna practice drawing the bodies and learning anatomy and also jerking off to it later.
Yeah.
And my dad had brought the computer to a guy, an IT guy, and he confronted me about it. And the guy had fucking printed off the pictures, and there was 10 pictures of these really bad.
He printed off your porn?
Yeah, and
loser.
And he gave them to my dad, and my dad gave them to me. And he's like, "You want to talk about this?" I'm like, "Oh yeah, I downloaded that." he was expecting this like long pep talk.
What do you expect?
But I smacked him with like, "Oh yeah, no, I downloaded that. I'm sorry." And he's like, "Oh, don't do it again." And that was it. It was conversation over. I gotta tell this story. So the first time I found out about like history and that you can't delete it.
You can delete it.
Well, I didn't know that how you search through like the address bar, it like saves it permanently unless you do a certain thing.
Yeah.
So what ended up happening was like, I was with my sister. We were just fucking around. This is weird to even think I was with my sister, and I was with my sister, and we were just like typing in things like poop and pee and shit in like in the search engine. And then we typed in like gay men and like fucking dicks and stuff. And the first website is like cowboys and stuff, and we were like laughing. But it was like really like low quality like websites and shit. And it was like the kind of stuff you'd see on NeoGAF. And I didn't know that the literal search term of gay men would be in the address bar. When my dad opened the fucking search term for Google.
Yeah.
So.
Oh no.
He called me and he's like, "Cory, get in here." And he typed in Google and gay men appeared. He had the website with the gay cowboys like pulling their pants slightly down, and I'm like, "Oh shit." And I was like, "Fuck." And he's like, "What is this? What's the meaning of this?" And then, since it was me and my sister, I was like, "We didn't know." He's like, "Oh, you were both doing this?" And he's like, "Oh, you're looking for penises and shit?" And we were also laughing, so he's getting really pissed.
Yeah.
But, oh my god. It's just so funny. You never realize that, like, a letter will be associated with the fucking search term. Oh god, it was so funny.
It's hilarious.
My dad's made me see weird shit. Like, I think I said this before, but...
Yeah.
Like, my dad showed me, like, the Faces of Evil, which is a really, really fucked up thing.
It's in there. Ooh.
It's in here?
Yeah.
Yeah, I figured.
Sure looks like it.
So... Okay, there we go. So, he showed me the Face of Evil, and he's like, "Yeah, you're not gonna like this." He's like, "But I'll let you watch it. I'll see." Like, he was curious how much I could watch it. Like, he wasn't sure if I would avert my eyes, but... Seeing animals get like fucking, just like seeing that kind of shit was like, I couldn't look away. It's almost like, you know, when you see like a car accident, you're just like fascinated by like the idea of a car accident happening.
Yeah.
And your head can't turn away. So he was like, "All right, you need to stop watching this." And he like did that. But then he would like turn on things like Indiana Jones, the scene where the guy's face is melting off, and he would turn it in slow motion and laugh as I fucking bawled my eyes off. And he just like keep like the guy's like face melting.
Yeah.
He would turn that up to fucking 11.
You want to tell like ghost stories, not like just candles and shit?
Pass the time with ghost
Spooky,
stories.
scary stories.
Spooky, ghoulish stories.
Let's tell spooky, scary ghost stories.
Yeah.
All right.
Spooky stories. What kind of spooky stories? Like real life experiences?
Like ghost stories.
Do you have? Here's a question. I'm legitimately curious. Has anyone ever had any ghost experiences? Because
I do. I actually have a good one.
You have?
I actually have a legitimately good
fucking serious?
ghost story.
Tell me.
Okay. So, I'm at this bar in downtown Philly. I think it was actually called Cory's.
Oh!
So, it's this little piece of shit bar. It's got like 4 stools in it, right?
Really?
Yeah, no.
Is it really called Cory's?
It has an E. It's a C-O-R-E.
Oh yeah, it is.
Have you been there before?
Cory's.
A few times, yeah.
Or something like that. Anyways, I'm the only dude in the bar, right? I get a beer and I'm sitting at the bar and I feel something tap my shoulder and I looked to my left because I thought it was somebody like pranking me, like you know how they tap your shoulder.
Tap the wrong shoulder.
And then I looked back over and there was nobody there. So I turned all the way around and I was like, that's fucking weird. So I turned back forward and I'm drinking my beer and I was like, that was just fucking strange because I'm the only guy in there and the bartender is at the other side reading a fucking newspaper or something. So I thought that maybe some plaster fell off the ceiling or something and tapped my shoulder like that. So I turned back around and look around the floor to see if something fell off the ceiling or whatever. Mm-hmm. And as I was turned around backwards, I felt somebody grab my hand on the bar top. Yeah. And it whipped my head around, and it was fucking Cory. You and your dad was fucking you, moaning like a ghost.
Really?
Yeah, fucking you.
How old was I?
Woo! This was like last week.
That's bullshit. I'm not allowed in bars anymore for some reason. But I don't recall that.
Because you go to every bar and get fucked by your dad loudly, Corey. You're a nuisance to Philly.
I mean, I'm not allowed in bars anymore, but I don't really.
Corey.
I don't recall actually.
That's a true story.
Corey, did you ever hear my story about when I went to my grandparents' house and it was a little bit haunted?
Is this legitimately just gonna lead to me like fucking my dad or like me having a pussy?
No. I'm seriously.
Both stories.
I really did tell you that like my grandparents' house was haunted, right? I talked about it.
You talked about it
in a podcast before.
Yeah, you talked about it briefly.
I stayed there when I was 10, and I stayed in the basement. They have this basement there. It's a nice little basement, but they have these back glass windows that are like on the ground floor. Because the back of the hill they live on like a hill. So the bottom part of the hill is where the windows come out. And so, anyways, I think I was about 10 years old. I was with my cousin and one of their friends, and we were watching some kind of movie, and we heard fucking like some kind of weird rumbling outside. We saw a dude standing outside of the fucking. This isn't like a ghost story, but we saw a dude standing outside these huge fucking glass panels looking into us. We fucking shat our pants because I was 10. I thought we were like a molester, like a serial killer. We fucking closed the blinds, ran upstairs to my grandparents. They called the cops. Apparently the dude fucking broke out of some mental place and was like watching us.
You fucking serious?
Yeah, so apparently, yeah, they called him. The police came back, fucking grabbed his asshole, took him back to the asylum, and we went like, because we had to identify him. You know those police things where they're like
identify.
Yeah, you know those police things where it's like, is this the guy? We went there, we saw the dude, we saw two other guys, and we saw your dad fucking you behind the glass.
Really? Really?
Was any part of that story true? That's a spooky story.
I'm telling you.
That is a
I don't know how I can travel through time and meet all these people and somehow still have time to fuck my dad. I could be using my time travel powers for something useful.
I just don't know how your dad's not satiated yet.
Probably because I allowed it.
Cole, why do you fuck with your dad so much?
I don't know. How come you enjoy the idea of me and my dad fucking behind a window with other men?
Let Chris tell a spooky, scary story now. Really a good one.
For real this time.
I don't have a scary story, but I did memorize a whole entire piece by Edgar Allan Poe.
Oh, yeah.
Will I go for it?
Yeah, do your best.
Okay. Once upon a midnight dreary, Corey's dad fucked him in the ass.
Oh, hey, you want to hear my spooky story?
Yeah,
You
go.
took the liberty of talking. It's just a dark and spooky night. Fuck you! I gotta go piss in a second.
Dude, get Jeff.
Hold on. Alright, I guess I'll piss outside. We don't really have a bathroom.
Subscribe. Thank you very much. That was my way of telling y'all to subscribe.